Most insane AI news this week. The AI world just exploded this week. DeepSeek R2 is coming way sooner than anyone expected and might crash the $1 trillion AI market. OpenAI's new $20,000 AI agents will replace entire teams of workers. Alibaba dropped a model that matches top AI with just 5% of the parameters, and Mistral's new tech reads everything on a document, even math equations. Hey, if we haven't met already, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, CEO of SEO agency Goldie Agency. Whilst he's helping clients get more leads and customers, I'm here to help you get the latest AI updates. Let's dive in before these companies change the world again. We'll start with the DeepSeek R2 release. And trust me, this is huge news for the AI world. This Chinese AI model might just flip the entire industry upside down, is coming way sooner than expected, and the price is so cheap, it's making big tech companies panic. According to Reuters, DeepSeek was planning to release their R2 model in early May, but now they want it out as soon as possible, maybe even in the next few weeks. This is a big deal because the first DeepSeek model, R1, literally caused a $1 trillion sell-off in the global stock market when it launched. That's trillion with a T. It scared investors that much. Why? Because DeepSeek R1 showed that a small Chinese startup could make an AI model almost as good as the big American companies, but at a fraction of the cost. And R2 is going to be even better. The R2 model will have better coding skills and can reason in more languages beyond just English and Chinese. They want to add Spanish and other languages to make it more accessible worldwide. But what makes DeepSeek so special? Here's what's crazy. They're doing more with less. The R1 model was built with less powerful NVIDIA chips than what companies like OpenAI and Anthropic use, but it still performed almost as well as models that cost billions to make. DeepSeek only needs to improve by 4.5 points on the benchmark test to become the best AI model in the world, and R2 might just do that. Plus, the pricing is insane. DeepSeek R1 was 20 to 40 times cheaper than what OpenAI charges for similar models. That forced OpenAI to lower their own prices just to stay competitive. So how did a Chinese startup manage to compete with trillion-dollar American tech companies? There are a few key factors. First, they focus on efficiency. DeepSeek created something called the mixture of experts architecture. This means the AI only activates the parts of the model it needs for each task, which saves a ton of computing power. Second, they invested heavily in computing infrastructure. Their parent company spent $1.2 billion, about $185 million, on two supercomputing clusters back in 2020 and 2021. One of these clusters, called Firefly 2, uses around 10,000 NVIDIA A800 chips for training AI models. Third, they're constantly innovating. Last week, they hosted an open source week where they released 5 new tools. Flat Malay, a GPU-optimized decoding kernel for faster text generation. Deep, a communication library for models like V3 and R1 DeepGem, a library for efficient matrix multiplications. All of these tools make AI development faster, cheaper, and more efficient, and they're all hints at what's coming with the R2 model. Here's why this matters. This isn't just tech news. This is world-changing stuff. If DeepSeek R2 is as good as experts think it will be, it could completely disrupt the AI industry. We're talking about an open-source model that might perform as well as OpenAI's GPT-4o or Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but at a tiny fraction of the cost. That means smaller companies can now afford to use cutting-edge AI, developers can build on top of it without expensive API fees. It could force American companies to slash their prices even more. This is democratizing AI in a way we haven't seen before. It's taking power away from a few dominant players and spreading it around the world. Now let's talk about the global impact. The release of DeepSeek R1 caused such a panic that some US senators have proposed jail terms of up to 20 years for Americans who download certain Chinese AI models. That shows you how seriously they're taking this threat. There's also been controversy about how DeepSeek got so many advanced chips despite US export restrictions to China. Some Western companies claim DeepSeek might have 50,000 high-end NVIDIA chips that are banned for export to China. Whether that's true or not, what matters is that DeepSeek has found ways to do more with less. They're innovating out of necessity, and that's making them more efficient than the competition. So, what can we expect from DeepSeek R2 when it launches? Based on everything we know, it will likely be on par with, or better than OpenAI's GPT-4o or Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It will be dramatically cheaper, possibly 20-40 times cheaper than competing models. It will support more languages. It will have improved coding abilities. It might even be more efficient than R1 thanks to their new tools. The craziest part. With the new tools they've released during Open Source Week, DeepSeek R2 might be even cheaper than R1 was. That would be absolutely game-changing. When will it launch? Based on the Reuters report, DeepSeek wants to launch R2 as early as possible. Some experts think it might come after the Qingming Festival in China, which ends on April 6th. Others think it might launch in mid-April. Either way, we're likely talking weeks, not months. Also, OpenAI's new $20,000 AI agents are about to change everything. According to a leaked report by The Information, OpenAI is building PhD-level AI that works 24/7 without breaks. Companies are betting billions on these AI workers replacing humans. The Information just reported on OpenAI's plans to launch 3 tiers of AI agents, and the prices are mind-blowing. We're talking $2,000 a month for entry-level knowledge workers, $10,000 for developer agents, and a whopping $20,000 for PhD-level research agents. Let me break down what this means and why it matters to you right now. OpenAI's revenue was $1 billion in 2023, jumped to $3.7 billion in 2024, and they're forecasting $12.7 billion in 2025. That's not just growth, that's explosion. And the craziest part, a huge chunk of that new money is coming from these AI agents. In the leaked projection charts, OpenAI showed 3 color-coded revenue streams. The red is ChatGPT, the blue is their API, but there's a new green bar that's almost as big as their entire 2024 revenue. That green bar is all from these new AI agents. OpenAI expects these agents to make up about 20-25% of their total revenue. That's billions of dollars they think companies will spend on AI workers. And they're not alone. SoftBank, Oracle, and even the US government are betting big on this through the Stargate initiative. Now, what can these AI agents actually do? These AI coding assistants can do way more than just write code. Now they can access your command line, install packages, manage your development environment, and even troubleshoot issues on their own. When they hit an error, they don't give up. They keep trying different approaches. They can read documentation, clone GitHub repositories, make changes to code, run tests, and fix bugs. They handle all the boring stuff like figuring out why dependencies aren't working or why you're getting error messages. What's impressive is how they can take over the entire workflow. They don't just suggest code, they set up the entire project environment, install everything needed, and make sure it's all working together. The human only needs to step in for things the AI can't access, like providing API keys or confirming what's happening on screen. And yes, they can absolutely help build million-dollar apps and games. These systems can write complex code, design interfaces, implement features, and fix bugs at a pace humans simply can't match. They're already helping developers build valuable software products that would have taken much longer with human-only teams. Think about what this means. Right now, we have AI that can write code, that's the basic chat models we've had, work inside your development environment, like Cursor does, run command line instructions, and install packages, debug, and troubleshoot when things don't work. The only thing missing is the ability to fully see and interact with your screen like a human. But both OpenAI and Anthropic already have this technology. OpenAI calls it operator, and Anthropic calls it computer use. When you combine all these pieces, you get something that can do everything a human programmer can do. And that's exactly what these $10,000 a month developer agents will be. Now, can they replace a senior developer with 10 years of experience? Probably not yet. But could they replace entry-level developers or people just learning to code? Absolutely. Think about it this way. On a scale from 1 to 100, where 1 is someone just starting to learn Python and 100 is the best programmer in the world, these AI agents might already be at level 5 or 10. That means they can already do more than someone just learning, and they're getting better fast. This is where things get scary for some jobs. If a company can pay $10,000 a month for an AI that works 24/7, never gets tired, and constantly improves with updates, why would they hire an entry-level developer at $8,000 a month plus benefits? But here's a really big question. Is 2025 too early for this? OpenAI thinks they can triple their revenue this year, partly because of these agents. That timeline seems ambitious, but these companies move faster than anyone expects. And that brings me to the most important part. What this means for you and your job. There are 2 numbers you need to watch. What percentage of workers could these AI agents replace? If it's 5%, that's significant but manageable. If it's 70%, we're looking at massive disruption. How much cheaper are these AI agents compared to human workers? If they're only 5% cheaper, adoption will be slow. Companies will weigh the risks carefully. But if they're 95% cheaper, that creates a stampede to replace workers as fast as possible. The ideal scenario is slow adoption that gives us time to adjust. The nightmare scenario is rapid replacement that creates massive unemployment almost overnight. Now here's the danger for OpenAI. They're setting themselves up to be disrupted. If a company like DeepSeek creates an open source agent that's 80% as good but costs 50 times less, That's what most people will use. The price will crash. And this isn't just about developers. These agents are targeting knowledge workers, researchers, and office administrators too. The $2,000 tier is aimed at replacing high-income knowledge workers. The $20,000 tier is for PhD-level research. More breaking news, this time from Qwen, which is run by Alibaba. They've just released their QWQ32B model, which is their new reasoning model with 32 billion parameters. This is rivaling other models like DeepSeek R1, and it's completely open source, so you can host it locally. The benchmark comparisons are super impressive. QWQ32B is performing well against DeepSeek R1, OpenAI O1 Mini, and DeepSeek R1 distilled on various tests. It's doing particularly well on the AIM test, falling just behind R1 on LiveCodeBench, but outperforming DeepSeek R1 and OpenAI O1 Mini on LiveBench. It also leads on BFCL tests, which are basically for function calling. If you want to get access, the easiest way is to go to Qwen's website. You can also get it on Hugging Face, and it's available on Ollama to run locally. Just download Ollama, go to QWQ, get the 32B model, and run it inside the terminal. The terminal command is simple: Ollama run QWQ. The only thing I'll say about running it locally is that it's super slow, even on a Mac M3 Pro. Instead, you can navigate to chatqwen.ai and select QWQ32B preview from the drop-down in the top left. This is their reasoning and coding model. What's really cool is you can switch on thinking mode and use QWQ inside there, along with web search and artifacts. This is super useful because combining QWQ with artifacts lets you start doing some serious coding tasks. One thing to note is that Qwen and also DeepSeek R1 has been a little unreliable recently when I've tested it, so this is a good alternative. Plus, it's a free model. With OpenAI O1 Preview and tools like O3 Mini and O3 Preview, you have to pay unless you just want to keep hitting the limits. QWQ is a free alternative. The cool thing about QWQ compared to DeepSeek R1 is that you can connect the reasoning model to the internet without having to pay for a tool like Perplexity to do that. With DeepSeek R1, the search feature often breaks directly in the chat, and you usually have to use Perplexity to get it working. To recap, Alibaba's QWQ32B model is more efficient. DeepSeek R1 uses 671 billion parameters, while QWQ uses just 32 billion parameters. It uses multi-stage RL learning, which is pretty crazy. It's a lot smaller, but matches the same performance in logic, math, and coding. It's open source and free for commercial and research uses under the Apache 2.0 license. And it has a higher context window with 131,000 tokens versus DeepSeek R1's 128,000 tokens. Mistral also just dropped something huge. They're calling it the world's best document understanding API. Throughout history, advancements in information retrieval have driven human progress. From hieroglyphs to the printing press to digitization, each leap has made human knowledge more accessible. Today, we're at the edge of the next big leap, unlocking the collective intelligence of all digitized information. About 90% of the world's organizational data is stored as documents, and to tap into this potential, Mistral has introduced Mistral OCR. This is an optical character recognition API that sets a new standard in document understanding. Unlike other models, Mistral OCR understands each element of documents, media, text, tables, equations, with incredible accuracy. It takes images and PDFs as input and extracts content in an ordered interleaved text and images format. This makes Mistral OCR ideal for use with a RAG system taking multimodal documents, like slides or complex PDFs, as input. They've made Mistral OCR the default model for document understanding across millions of users on Lachey, and are releasing the API Mistral OCR latest at 1,000 pages per dollar, and approximately double the pages per dollar with batch inference. The API is available today on their developer suite, La Platform, and coming soon to their cloud and inference partners, as well as on-premises. Here are the highlights: state-of-the-art understanding of complex documents, natively multilingual and multimodal top-tier benchmarks. Fastest in its category, Docker's prompt, structured output, selectively available to self-host for organizations dealing with sensitive information. Mistral OCR excels in understanding complex document elements, including interleaved imagery, mathematical expressions, tables, and advanced layouts such as latex formatting. The model enables deeper understanding of rich documents such as scientific papers with charts, graphs, equations, and figures. In benchmark tests, Mistral OCR consistently outperforms other leading OCR models. It extracts embedded images from documents along with text, which other LLMs don't do. On their internal text-only test set containing various publication papers and PDFs from the web, Mistral OCR scored 94.89% overall compared to Google Document AI at 83.42%, Azure OCR at 89.52%, and GPT-4o at 89.77%. What's really impressive is that Mistral OCR is natively multilingual. It can parse, understand, and transcribe thousands of scripts, fonts, and languages across all continents. This is crucial for both global organizations and local businesses. In benchmarks by language, Mistral OCR scored 99.09% for Russian, 99.20% for French, 97.55% for Hindi, and 97.11% for Chinese, outperforming Azure OCR, Google Doc AI, and Gemini in all cases. And Mistral OCR is fast. Being lighter weight than most models in the category, it performs significantly faster, processing up to 2,000 pages per minute on a single node. The use cases for this are massive: digitizing scientific research. Leading research institutions are using Mistral OCR to convert scientific papers into AI-ready formats, accelerating scientific workflows. Preserving historical documents. Organizations are using it to digitize historical documents and artifacts. Streamlining customer service. Customer service departments are exploring Mistral OCR to transform documentation and manuals into indexed knowledge, making literature across design, education, legal, etc. AI-ready Mistral OCR is helping companies convert technical literature, engineering drawings, lecture notes, presentations, regulatory filings, and more into indexed, answer-ready formats. Additionally, Windsurf just released their Wave 4 update, and it's packed with new features that make coding with AI much smoother. They've added previews that let you iterate on your apps rapidly by easily sending elements and console errors back to Cascade as context. They've added tab to import, linter integration, suggested actions, and more. What's cool is the previews feature solves the problem of having to manually explain what looks wrong or copying console errors. Instead, it adds listeners and UX so that Cascade can be aware of exactly how you want to iterate. You can point and click on the component you want to make changes to, and there's a button to automatically pull console errors. Meanwhile, Amazon is planning to launch its own AI model with advanced reasoning capabilities. According to Business Insider, the offering is tentatively scheduled to launch by June under the Nova brand, a group of generative AI models Amazon unveiled late last year. Amazon wants the new model to take a hybrid reasoning approach that provides quick answers and more complex extended thinking within a single system. Reasoning models have recently become the next frontier in AI. They often work more slowly, but can also tackle tougher problems by trying multiple solutions and backtracking via chain-of-thought techniques. Companies including Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic have released their own reasoning models recently, while DeepSeek drew a lot of attention for building a similar offering more efficiently. One of Amazon's priorities is to make its Nova reasoning model more price-efficient than competitors. ChatGPT has just released a new AI coding update for macOS that can now edit directly in IDEs like Visual Studio Code or Windsurf. This is available to Plus, Pro, and Team users. To use it, you need to download the ChatGPT app to your desktop, then open whatever IDE you're using, like Visual Studio Code, which is free to download. With both the ChatGPT app and your code editor open, you can click a button in ChatGPT that lets you run with Visual Studio Code. It integrates with VS Code directly, and you can also use it with Windsurf. When you've got your code open, you can go back to ChatGPT and edit that code. For example, you could say, make this look more modern, and ChatGPT will attach your code and let you edit it right there. You can select your code inside ChatGPT, give it instructions like, make this look more modern, and then click Auto Apply Code to automatically make the changes. The changes happen instantly in your code editor. Setting it up is super easy. Just open the ChatGPT chat bar by pressing Option and Space, or by clicking the ChatGPT menu bar icon. You can also click the Work with Apps icon to manually work with apps from the ChatGPT window. It doesn't just work with coding, it also works with text editing apps like Apple Notes, Notion, Text Edit, and more. When you're making code edits, you don't need to copy and paste anymore. You just ask ChatGPT to edit open files directly. When you ask for an edit, ChatGPT generates a diff that you can review and apply, and there's an option to automatically apply edits as well. One of the coolest features is that you can edit code in terminal use in advanced voice mode. To do this, you click the wave icon in the chat bar in the main window. When you're in the advanced voice session, the Work with Apps button gives you control of the app you're working with. Is this better than what was already out there? Honestly, I think Claude 3.7 is still better for coding, but if you're on a budget, ChatGPT might be better because you're using the app version, which doesn't cost API credits. You can switch between different models in ChatGPT too. For example, ChatGPT 4.5 usually feels more human. It's not great for writing big blocks of content, but for more creative tasks where it's just a few lines, it's quite easy to use. If you're using AI tools for your business or personal projects, this is huge news. It means the cost of using advanced AI will drop dramatically. You'll have more options beyond just OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google open source models will continue to improve rapidly. The tools you use every day will get better and cheaper. This is especially important if you're trying to use AI to grow your business. The lower the costs, the more you can experiment and integrate AI into your workflows. The race to build the best AI models is heating up, and these developments could be major turning points. They show that you don't need billions of dollars or unlimited resources to compete at the highest level of AI development. This is good news for everyone except maybe the big tech companies who have been charging premium prices for their AI models. Competition drives innovation and lowers prices, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So, what can you do to prepare? First, start using these tools yourself. The people who know how to work with AI will replace the people who don't. Second, focus on skills that AI still struggles with: creative problem solving, human interaction, and strategic thinking. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to save hundreds of hours with AI and make more money with AI to scale your business, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. The link is in the comments and description. This comes with a community of over 268 members, all interested in scaling their business with AI, just like you. On top of that, you also get access to our classroom with all of my best automations and courses on email and content automation, social media video automations, AI agents and workflows, web scraping, AI CEO automations, and more. You also get weekly Q&A calls where you can jump on and ask any questions you have. Additionally, you can just post in the community anytime you get stuck, and we're constantly updating this with new content every single day. If you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors per month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales, feel free to grab that link in the comments and description. On this free SEO acceleration session, you'll get a custom-tailored link building plan so you can generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll be able to ask our world-class experts any questions you have one-to-one, and you'll learn the best link building strategy custom-tailored for your website. Julian reads every comment, so make sure to drop your thoughts below. What do you think about all these AI updates? Are you excited, concerned? Let us know. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more AI updates, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on all the latest AI news. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.